Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my first impressions look on the Adidas D.O.N issue 3. So this shoe is going for 110 bucks, so pretty damn cheap. And if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. This is Donovan Mitchell's third signature shoe with Adidas. So let's get it started right off with the tracciones. And as far as the traction goes, it's very similar to the pattern found in the D.O.N issue 2. It's kind of like a spider web traction pattern. We got some solid rubber inserts, so like here in the forefoot and here in the heel we got some solid rubber pods, but most of the outsole is pretty much a translucent rubber, so that kind of sucks. I mean, not a huge fan of translucent rubber, as you guys all know. A translucent rubber for me, I don't like the yellowing all too much, and it just gets dirty, it doesn't look as good. And also, just from my experience, translucent outsoles don't perform as good as the solid rubber counterparts usually, but that's not the case all the time, right? As far as the durability goes, durability seems, I don't know, I mean the rubber is hard, but these grooves are super thin, so I'm actually not sure. I would say it's probably not going to be the best option for outdoor use, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. And as far as the traction goes, here on my wood floors, it seems to have a pretty good bite, has a loud squeak as well, very high pitched, but the bite doesn't seem like it's going to be like top tier, so we'll have to see on that. Alright, moving on to the heel to toe transition, and remember the D.O.N issue 1? it was a slapper. Remember how flat that shoe was? So they definitely fixed it up in the 2, and also here in the 3 we have a nice rounded shape as well for the outsole. So here in the heel we have a nice rounded shape, and the light strike is pretty much fully exposed. There's no caging or anything, so it doesn't feel clunky at all, especially comparing it to the Harden Volume 5. So that's nice. And also here in the forefoot we got a nice curved shape. So you put a little bit of force here in the tip of the toe, and it kind of like propels you forward. So that's very nice. And also look at this, you have a lot of forefoot flex. Also, if you look in the middle of the outsole, we have a midfoot shank plate, right? But also it's dual purpose. It turns from this midfoot shank plate all the way into this lateral counter here on the lateral side of the shoe that also cages the cushion. So I guess it's like triple purpose, it cages the cushion, gives you lateral support, and also acts as a midfoot shank plate. So that's pretty cool. And now moving on to the cushioning setup, we have full length light strike, and light strike is a very nice cushioning setup. It does bottom out pretty quickly, but I do like light strike because it is a very low density cushion. So Adidas has not a lot of that, you know what I mean? So boost, bounce, and also like EVA and stuff like that, they're just very high density foams, meaning they're just heavy. And as you guys all know, the outsole and also the midsole take up most of the weight in the shoe. So if you have a low density foam, it contributes a lot less to the weight in the shoe, and that's what light strike does. Also, light strike is soft, it has a lot of compression, and also has a little bit of bounce back as well. So here in the heel, it feels nice. There is a good amount of compression. It feels pretty similar to like the Dame 6 or the Dame 7. I wouldn't say it's as soft as those, but there is a good amount of compression, which I like. But a couple of things that I don't like about this shoe is the insole, right? The insole is just trash, and I don't know what Adidas does with their insoles, but like it's just super thin. There's absolutely no foam, which can be a good thing if you have a very nice foam, right? So obviously, like if you have a super thick insole and you have a nice foam underneath that, it's going to be a little bit harder to feel the foam. So that would make sense if you make the insole thinner, right? But if you feel the insole and then you remove the insole and you feel the freaking strobo board, it's just super stiff. It's literally as stiff as this table. That's how, like, there's no compression at all. I don't know why Adidas does this. So step in comfort is actually very stiff. It's not very nice, so that kind of sucks. Court feel, it feels pretty low to the ground. Here in the forefoot is very low, and then here in the heel it does get a little bit thicker, or I guess higher up from the ground, so there is a little bit of an offset. So as far as the cushioning setup goes, I feel like it's going to be a responsive cushioning setup with good heel impact protection. Alright, moving on to the materials, we pretty much have like a textile or textile mesh material throughout this entire upper, right? And it feels pretty glued down, so it is a little stiff right now, right? Just a tiny bit, and there's really no pinching, maybe just a tiny bit where your foot flexes here in the forefoot, but it's not painful or anything, and I feel like it'll break in really quickly because this material is really thin. So right now it doesn't feel the best, especially here in the middle of the shoe, like here in the midfoot area. If you press the material down here, it's a little bit stiffer. As far as the tongue goes, we have a good amount of padding. It feels very plush. It's an oversized tongue as well. And on the bottom of the tongue, it's made of a mesh material. And also this tongue is a half booty construction tongue, which connects to this mesh material, which goes underneath this textile mesh, which gives you a better overall one-to-one fit. And also here in the ankle area, we have a crazy amount of padding, just like in the Dawn issue 2. I like it a little bit. To be honest, for me personally, I like to have a very minimal upper. I mean, sometimes I do like the plush cushion or foam that you get from some shoes, but I feel like the Dawn issue line, they add a little too much for me, so it feels a little bulky, especially here in the ankle area. But that's just for my personal taste. If you like to have a lot of foam, you like the material to feel very cozy and very plush, this is a very good option for you guys. Also for durability, I don't know what this is for, but we got some like plastic here on the lateral and medial sides of the shoe. I mean, what is this gonna do for durability? I don't really know. I mean, there's really nothing here for toe drags. And also where the laces are, we got this elastic strap, which doesn't really do anything. It kind of just gets in the way. It doesn't really tighten the fit or anything, so that's pretty much useless. Doesn't do anything. It says fearless drive here on the right pair, and then on the left pair it says grit and heart. Wow. And then here on the tongue we got Donovan Mitchell's logo, and it's pretty cool because there is a little bit of an iridescent glow to it. And then on the side of that it says issue number 3, so that's a nice little touch. And then here in the ankle area we have these like 2 ankle pieces. It's made of foam, and the laces go through it on the last eyelet. Like as far as for a functional purpose, doesn't really do anything. I guess it's just there for aesthetic purposes. And here in the back we have a pull tab, as well as I'm guessing these are just like coordinates. So for the overall materials, it feels a little stiff right now, but like I said, I feel like it'll break in very, very nicely. All right, moving on to the fit, I went true to my Adidas size, and it fits me pretty damn well, right? So as far as the length goes, it's good for me, true to size. Here in the toe box, it's a kind of a snug fit. You know, it's not as snug as I would like. And also with this material, I feel like it'll stretch out a little bit once I break it in and play in it. So that kind of sucks. I hope it doesn't get too roomy. And then for the width, I would say it's just a normal width. So if you have a normal size foot, you should be good to go going true to size. If you have a wide foot, I would suggest going up half a size. All right, for support and lockdown. So for lateral containment, I feel like you're gonna be good, right? So here on the lateral side, like I mentioned before, we have this plastic piece. So here in the forefoot, we got the plastic piece pretty much covering the forefoot, midfoot, and here in the heel. The foam comes up a good amount as well here in the forefoot, midfoot, and here in the heel. So lateral containment, I feel like you're gonna be good. And we have an internal TPU heel counter. As far as the width goes, the shoe is pretty damn wide, so I feel like lateral stability is going to be good. I mean, Adidas usually does that very, very well. One thing that I hate about this shoe though, so if you guys look at the foam, and I mentioned this before, like Adidas does this in a lot of their basketball shoes. I don't know if I'm the only one experiencing this, but yeah, Adidas has very poor heel lockdown in a lot of their shoes, right? And you guys can see it's pretty apparent because if you guys look at the foam here in the ankle area, the foam goes down all the way here into the bottom of the heel, right? So for example, if you look at like the Zoom Freak 2 or at like most Nike shoes or even Under Armour shoes, they have the foam on top of the ankle area right here. And if you look at the anatomy of the foot, here's the heel and then you got your Achilles tendon, right? So it kind of like narrows down. So if you have foam here on top of the ankle, it'll prevent your heel from going up. But if you have foam going all the way down here into the bottom of the heel is not going to be locked down as well. So I do feel a good amount of heel slippage, and my heel just doesn't feel locked down at all. So that feels pretty bad for me, especially here in the first impressions. Hopefully it's not terrible when I play in it, but that does suck. Now moving on to the weight of the shoe. It feels, I mean, it doesn't feel super light, but it doesn't feel super heavy either. And of course, like I said, they're using light strike. So I'm guessing like 12 and a half, 13 ounces. Okay, so 12.59 ounces, right? So that's pretty much average weight. And how does it feel on foot? It feels pretty nice on foot so far. Like I said, it's not the most minimal feeling shoe though. Like I mentioned before, there is a lot of padding here in the ankle area as well as here on the tongue. So it doesn't really feel like super lightweight or minimal on foot, to be honest. But that's just me comparing it to like super lightweight and very minimal shoes, you know, like the Kyrie Low 4 or the Curry 8s, you know, the shoes that I really like to play in, the Puma Clyde All Pro. So comparing to those, yeah, it feels a little, or like a good amount bulkier and stuff like that. But obviously there is a market for that. Like if you don't care about that all too much, like a shoe feeling super minimal and you want a shoe that has a lot of foam and that feels very plush and very comfortable as far as the materials go, then this is going to be a good option for you. Alright, as far as the aesthetics go, it looks pretty dope, especially this colorway. This colorway is clean as well. I feel like it's probably my favorite in his entire line. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So for 110 bucks, my first impressions of the shoe are pretty, like, they're okay, right? So just like the Dawn issue 1 and the Dawn issue 2, it's just not my type of shoe. And I don't want to like say it's a bad shoe. I mean, obviously it's just my first impressions, and of course just from like my experience in the Dawn issue 2, like the 3 feels like the Dawn issue 2, and I feel like I'll like it a little bit, but it's probably not going to be in like my top 10 or anything like that. I'm not saying it's a bad shoe though. I definitely think there is a market for this type of shoe, and also I feel like, you know, if you enjoyed the 2, the 3 will probably be a good option because they do feel pretty damn similar on foot. But anyways, again, if you guys do want to cop this shoe, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.